many do you think are in the country illegally?
We got Morty.
Over 20 million. And I say that because we've used the number 12 million for the last decade and a half. And we know that at least 10.5 million came to the border under President Biden. And the majority of them released in the country. Plus, we know we got over 2 million known gotaways during that 4 years. So, my opinion, I've been doing this since 1984. There's over 20 million illegal aliens in this country.
That's before I was born. He's been doing this since before I was in diapers, when I was still in Papa Lutch's sack.
And is your aspiration, if you could do this, to deport all of them?
If you're in the country legally, you need to go home. And I'm hoping not to deport everybody. I'm hoping people are going to do the right thing and self-remove. According to recent studies by several nonprofits, between 1.4 and 1.6 already left. And I hope more do leave and do the right thing, because if we have to go seek you out, get an order of deportation and seek you out and formally deport you, there is a statutory bar anywhere from 5 years to never coming back to the United States under another legal program.
Yeah, so just leave on your own and come back in the right way and you're good. Because if you get caught, then you definitely ain't coming back in at least for 5 years.
So get your affairs together, leave on your own, and make other options available to you in the future. For instance, if you have a U.S. citizen child, they can petition for you someday when they turn 18. But look, there are millions of people standing in line, taking their tests, doing the background investigation, paying their fees, that want to be a part of the greatest nation on earth. And the millions of people that President Biden released in the country are cheating the system. They're cheating the millions who are trying to play by the rules.
I mean, look, I know I am described as an exceptional alien, my immigration status to the United States, which always struck me as a little rude, if you don't mind me saying.
They're calling you exceptional.
Mr. Homan, I think exceptional's fine, but calling me an alien always seemed a little terse.
Why? I don't understand why people get upset about that. Like, when we talk about aliens and like space, it just means a being from another place. And so on Earth, it just means that you're from a different place. It's not derogatory. I mean, we could go into that, but on its space, just words.
I go through a big, rigorous process to get a visa. I've got a home in LA. I've worked in America on and off for 20 years, but it's a rigorous process to go through all the form filling, as you know. So I understand why people who go through that process to become citizens and so on, they feel aggrieved that people who just march in over a border, and we have the same issue in the UK, as you know, with the small boats and so on. But here's my sort of overview, and let me just express what I think, and then give me your reaction to it. From most Americans I've talked to, whether it be East Coast or Middle America, whatever.
East Coast.
There's almost unanimous sense of a huge victory by you and your team on the southern border, that you've managed to virtually close that border in a dramatically short period of time. And that if anything, you're not getting enough credit for that because of all the noise around some of the other initiatives. I think you deserve huge credit for that. I'm very happy to give you that. Most Americans I've spoken to say if somebody's in the country illegally, in other words, they're an undocumented person in the US, and they commit a crime, then they should be deported. In other words, there seems to be almost unanimous agreement. Where there is a disagreement with your strategy, and this seems to be supported by the polling I've seen, around 2/3 agree with what I'm about to say here.
What about the ones who only committed one crime?
Or certainly the way I'm heading in my thought process. Where they feel uncomfortable is with, for argument's sake, somebody who came in as an undocumented person 10 years ago. They built a life in the United States. They've got a job. They're working at Home Depot. They've got a couple of kids who've been born in America. They pay taxes. They contribute to society. They don't commit crimes. They're decent people who came for a better life. They just happen to be undocumented. When they see ICE employees running into Home Depot to see somebody like that or the equivalent, that is where a line seems to be crossed for many Americans.
That's the way the liberals make it seem, but no, an illegal alien is an illegal alien.
Do you understand why people feel differently about that scenario to somebody who's there illegally who then commits a crime that's unconnected to their immigration status?
Absolutely, I can understand that. But just because I can understand it doesn't mean that it's right. And just because I can understand it doesn't mean that is the most appropriate thing that includes all of the relevant factors. So, like, yes, I understand that it's sad. But life ain't happy all the time.
Well, look, I can tell you.
And so, yeah, if you're just joining us, Piers was just talking about, well, I get, wanting to get rid of the criminals, but what about the ones who have been here for decades and aren't doing anything wrong? Shout out to Roberto Cifredi. Welcome. Said, you need a visa to work in a foreign country. Every foreign country. Bingo. Well, I mean, except America, but you're supposed to need a work visa. Welcome to the party. Very good to see ya. Liberty said, I'm saying peers and liberals only have empathy for people who aren't white. Remember the South Africans. I definitely think that there is a level of if it's brown or black people, we care more on the part of peers. I do think that is part of the his worldview, but I don't necessarily think that him personally, that's like at the forefront. But I can definitely see it.
Commits a crime that's unconnected to their immigration status.
Well, look, I can tell you, I started as border patrol in 1984, and I can tell you, and it's still this way today. Immigration enforcement has always been controversial. It's always been emotional. I get it, right? Well, people need to understand what the people who feel that way, many of them don't know the facts. Many of them don't have the data because the media.
Yeah, exactly, because of the media. And so people want to take the emotion of, oh no, people are going through a hard time, and then blame Tom Homan and blame Donald Trump when it's not their fault. It's not their fault. Nobody told them to come and get over our border except for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, if you want to yell at them. But other than that, there's nobody in this current administration who caused the problem that we are dealing with. We are merely dealing with it. Let me just have some Swiss guy overstayed his visa. They'd all be happy to send him back. Yeah, I mean, I would. Sure. I think the to your point, that wouldn't necessarily be as big of news because then liberals couldn't turn it into bullshit.
Skewing the data every day. Every day I get up on the way to work, I look at 20 pages of data from the previous 24 hours. And the media, they want to spin away from the truth. For instance, they say that most of the people ICE arrested are not criminals. False.
How did they get here? How did they get here? Shout out to Jack. Welcome to the party. So deportation numbers aren't even at Biden levels. MAGA is dead. Well, I'm going to disagree because I think MAGA has become bigger than Trump. And I think those of us who are here saying stuff exactly like this, we are MAGA. And the people who are, just bullshitting and not doing what we want them to do, they are the ones who are leaving MAGA behind. MAGA has absolutely surpassed just Donald Trump, in my humble opinion. Welcome to the party, Jack. Larry said law should apply to everybody equally. Yep. Make Obama great again. Nah, I'm good.
The truth. For instance, they say that most of the people ICE arrested are not criminals. False. I look at the numbers this morning. 70% of everybody ICE arrests is a criminal. Who are the other 30%? Many of them are national security threats.
So let's stop right there. So 70% of them outside of the crossing into the crossing the border, outside of that, 70% of them are in fact criminals. 70%. That's how he's going to talk about who are the other 30.
Arrest is a criminal. Who are the other 30%? Many of them are national security threats with terrorist ties. Most of them don't have criminal histories because their whole goal is to lay low until they do the dirty deed, right? So we've arrested thousands of Trend-Iowa, thousands of MS-13, thousands of national security threats that simply don't have criminal histories. Who are the other remaining 30%? Many of them are fugitives. These are people who had due process at great taxpayer expense.
Oh, the big, you need due process. They got it.
We put them in front of the judge. They lost their case. They're ordered to leave. But they didn't leave. They became a fugitive. So a lot of them are the 30%. So, if the media will educate the American people on the facts, that President Trump promised to prioritize public safety threats as national security threats, and the data proves that's exactly what we're doing. Now, let's look at the non-criminal, non-national security threats.
All right. So all of that. So we have 70% plus of people who are at the very least criminals beyond just crossing the border. Shout out to Nick Luchetti, moderator to the stars. Welcome. Thank you so very, very much for the reminder. I would greatly appreciate if you could hit that like button. It helps out the channel so very much. Let's dive right back.
Non-fugitives. The message we can't not send the entire world is you can cross the border illegally. It's a crime. Don't worry about it. Go see an immigration judge, or don't go see an immigration judge and just skip out, get an order removal. Don't worry about it. No one's looking for you. As long as you don't commit another crime beyond illegal entry, you're good to go.
You just get a free pass. You get a free pass on the border crossing. As long as you don't commit any other crimes, then you're good. But Americans, we don't get a free pass. We don't get a free pass. I've been arrested, and but nobody say, well, as long as you don't do any other crimes. No, I was, as Liberty said, the law should apply to everybody, and I added equally. If I do something wrong, I get in trouble. If they do something wrong, which they did, they should get in trouble.